Hello, welcome back to MFWoodShop. Today I'm going to do part 2 of the disc sander build. And where I left you off last time is I built the main body. I got the motor mounted, I got the motor wired, and I got the switch installed. And I tested everything to make sure it worked. Today I'm going to finish up the dust collector box, the shelf or the work surface, the disc, and put it all together and test it. So let's get started.
Then you have magic. Magic.
Okay, I got the disc sander done. It turned out fabulous. I love it already. Everything is square to the table. It is perfectly 90 degrees, the bed to the disc, which made this cut perfectly square and rounded like I did a test piece on. There's an 80 grit sandpaper on here, so it went right through this piece of plywood with ease. it worked out great. There's very little vibration. There is some vibration, but very little. And I think that could be prevented if I put some rubber feet underneath. And I think that would help out a lot. One thing that I might have to adjust later in the future, I might have to pull that disc out just a little bit. Right now the disc is set into the shroud, and I noticed when I was doing this, it was actually hitting the shroud instead of the disc. So I might have to pull that disc out just a little bit, which is no problem. I just have to undo the shroud. There's a little set screw in the hub that holds the disc, and I can move that out just a little bit, or loosen up the motor and push the motor out a little bit. But no big deal. I'll decide to do that later in life if I need to. But right now it serves the purpose that I want it for, which is mostly to take off those little corners that we always have and to actually square up a piece real quick. And that's what this was intended to do. The main reason I built this is because most of these parts were given to me or scrapped wood. The motor was given to me by my brother. It's a GE 4355 motor. It's a 1/4 horsepower, 1725 RPMs, and it's perfect for a 12-inch disc sander. I wanted it direct drive. I didn't want to mess with pulleys or anything like that, so it is one speed, and one speed done and over. So I don't need to adjust anything. The 1725 RPMs is perfect for the 12-inch. The switch, I put a double switch over here. The only reason I used a double switch is because I had it laying around in the shop. I didn't want to go down to the store, make a trip down there and buy a single switch. So I just used the double switch, no big deal. Only one of the switches are actually hooked up. The dust collector worked out extremely well. When I took off all the material on this, I looked around for dust and no dust anywhere. So I think that's in a perfect location, and I think the air box inside here just gives it enough flow inside to make all that dust go away. And I was extremely pleased with that. The table is only at 90 degrees. It does not tilt, and I don't want it to. If I need it to tilt, I'll use my rigid sander over there. I wanted this perfectly 90 degrees so I could do those quick squaring up a piece, or taking off those corners like I demonstrated. But I'm very pleased with this. This is an 80 grit sandpaper, so it is pretty aggressive, but I'm okay with that. The cord that I use is just an old extension cord I laying around. I cut off the female end, stripped the wires, and done all my electrical work. If you're not comfortable with the electrical work, find somebody who is, or hire a professional to do that for you, because it can get kind of confusing. But there is more details on the website. There is a generic, very elementary schematic for the electrical for this. Very, very elementary on it. It's nothing professional or anything. I just left it very, very simple. I think that just about does it. The only thing I'll do in the future is maybe pull the disc out a little bit, and I think I'll add another piece at the very bottom just as a whole base so I can screw it down somewhere. When it gets into its final location, I'll work all that details out. But right now, I'm very pleased with this machine. It works very well, and I think I'll get a lot of use out of it. As I said before, there's more details on my website. Go check them out, and links to the special parts that I use are in the description below. As always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, I'll see you next time.
Today, they don't see things the same. 2 1 like two out the door. Then you have magic.